Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson, along with Mitch English and Matt Doolittle. So, Mitch, if you were to go to a church confession, what kind of expectations would you have?
Well, I would imagine it's just going to be me and the person I'm giving my confessions to, and I could be able to pour out my soul to him and trust that he or she would give me right direction.
And to keep that confidential.
100%, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, get this. A priest is
Wait,
catching...
have you heard something?
Well, maybe.
I've heard it all. I know. Don't start off just asking me that question. It freaked me out a little bit.
Well, get this. A priest is catching flack for breaking his vow of keeping secrets to warn a husband of his wife's infidelity. Turns out the wife confessed to a work trip rendezvous, and as part of her penance, she was told by the priest to tell her husband. Well, turns out she ignored the priest. The priest discovered her omission when he asked the husband how things were going.
Ooh, all right.
Well, the wife knew she was in big trouble when she returned home and found all of her stuff out on the front lawn. So here's our question for the roundtable. Should the priest have kept quiet about the incident?
Well, 100%. I say on paper you'd say, well, yeah, because a confession is supposed to be between you and the priest, and it's not supposed to be big news, and you're supposed to work your way through it on your own. And for him to go and kind of spill the beans really kind of breaks that trust altogether. So I can't see how anybody would feel any different. I was like, you were not supposed to do this, and you did it.
Yeah, Matt?
So the whole point of going there to do that is you feel like it's a safe space, because otherwise, what's the point? Like you might as well just go tell your friend or go out and tell everybody. It doesn't make any sense why you would do that.
I side with the priest on this one because he told her, go tell your husband.
Okay.
And she didn't, so I don't know what she thought would happen. I know there's an expectation of confidentiality, but what about the list of sins that you must confess to a priest? We want to talk about that.
All right.
The list includes missing church without a valid reason.
Well, okay, all right, without a valid reason. Okay. The priest should know I'm not there if they don't see me.
Do they take attendance these days?
I don't know,
remember.
sometimes they do. All right.
Sex without marriage.
Okay.
Cohabitating without being married. And committing sacrilege.
All right, so these are the things you're supposed to sit down, and most churches believe that these are the things you confess to.
These are the things you need to admit to in that little crazy box to the priest that you're talking to.
I will not be going to church because every one of those I'm pretty sure that I'm violating. So
just this morning, right, Matt?
Yeah, just this morning. I mean, I live with my fiance, so yeah. I mean, just this morning, all of those. But I don't see the point of like going in there and telling him this if he's just going to go.
So are the traditions outdated then? Do you think?
I think, yeah.
I think that when you go to church, you have a set of rules. Those are the things that you have to go do. You have to be able to follow those. And if you don't follow them, you go and do that. I think, though, all in all, though, it should be on my terms on how I basically fix things and get back to my good graces with God, and not being pressured by somebody who's like, hey, look, you need to do this. You can't make anybody do anything. They have to want to do it on their own. And it sounds as if this whole story is that the priest thought, well, she talked to the husband, but that wasn't necessarily the case. I think there should be some kind of recourse on all this. You know, I mean, like something should happen to the priest.
Well, maybe I'm simplifying things, but it seems to me like people can do whatever they want and act crazy and wild and stupid during the week, and then all they have to do is go to a confession box and say, hey, I did this, this, and this. Will you forgive me? And the priest gives you penance, and then like all is forgiven. So it's like rewarding bad behavior because you go tell somebody in a closet with a screen that you've done something bad. So I don't understand why things have not been updated to.
I think you're right. I think that more and more millennials are not even actually going to church anymore, and they're also adopting, I don't need religion, just don't be a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Don't do something stupid is what they see. But also I see in my life, had I not had religion, I would not have necessarily had a core that would kept me on the track that I was on, to be able to at least to go back when I felt like there were some issues. So I'm thankful for those rules.
So you like the structure and the boundaries.
100%. Yeah, I appreciate the structure for that. But if something like this happened to me, I think it would be very wondering if the falter, the grounds that I'm standing on, if I can't trust the person that I've confessed this big thing that's going to happen in my life to, and then knowing that he wound up telling somebody that I had hurt.
And a lot of those times too, and you know, I'm not a churchgoer myself. I just wasn't really brought up in it. But the people I do know that have gone, they've had more problems with their priests having issues with the congregation sometimes. So the priests are doing what they're preaching.
But I think the expectation is she went in, she confessed, the priest said, tell your husband.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you follow the traditions and the rules of the church, then I think she was at fault for not following what the priest had
100%,
advised
yes.
her.
I
So
agree.
she shouldn't be surprised that her stuff was out on the lawn when she returned home.
I think, though, with that, though, there is a level of expectation that you're supposed to work on your own pace. And this guy just kind of pushed her off the edge in order to, make it happen. And it would be hard for me to go, well, you just did it. Maybe you should take on the sin since you're the one confessing to my husband or the person that I broke this vow to. Where is the priest in all of this? He broke up a marriage. Had she done it, she doesn't know. The priest doesn't know exactly what's going on in that marriage altogether. He knows what is being told, there's always three sides to every story, right?
I mean, could she possibly sue him or anything
That's
like
what
that?
I say.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that there is,
I think she should be liable.
for breaking up a marriage and destroying your lives, kind of. But I mean, she did do the sin, really. But.
She did, yes. But again, we live in this day and age where we don't take responsibility for
that's
anything,
true, too.
right? It's sort of like, well, I go and tell you this like I'm supposed to. You tell me what I'm supposed to do, and then you go and ask
And if
my
you don't do it-
husband, and then he flips out. And she's trying to be a victim in all of this. It doesn't work that way for me.
I think no matter what, maybe the priest needs to do his own confessing as well. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, look, I really screwed up. I think I screwed up this marriage, and it's something that he'll have to work through.
Maybe the three
later
need
on.
to get together for a counseling session.
Maybe so. And you know what? Most priests aren't married, right? And they probably don't understand the whole thing about how marriage is. It's like, look,
That's a
let
great
them work
point.
things out. So maybe you have to take that into consideration when you realize they're human.
Yes.
They're basically vessels that you believe are to God to help you find your way, but they make human mistakes. Keep that in mind.
We want to know what you think. Go to our socials right now and sound off on this. Was the priest wrong for telling the husband? We're back right after this.